Today we're checking out 5 great budget knives. We actually have more than 5, but let's get into it. So this one is a Justin Lundquist design, and I have a few different versions of this model because he has this model from a couple different companies, you know, the same design. And this one's one of my favorites from QSP because not only did they do an incredible job with the detent, listen to this detent, like they did such a good job with the detent. It's a great size. The G10 makes it very grippy. It does have a little bit of a sway back, which I'm typically not a fan of, but this one, for some reason, it just nestles in my hand really nicely. This is a knife you can use in any direction, great for detailing. It's just a great pocket tool. So anybody just looking for a very simple, basic EDC knife in decent materials, because we're using 14C28N, which I personally think is the best budget steel you can get. It's a mid-grade steel that has great performance for the daily user, and that's what it's cool for. Obviously, you know, there's far superior steels out there, you know, but for the average user, they typically want something that, one, takes a very good edge, but holds a good edge, right? Obviously, you want it to hold a good edge, and there's steels that hold a way better edge, right? But this steel, most steels do not hone or shop back as easy as 14C. 14C is a steel that you can repeatedly keep maintaining over and over and over with honing and stropping, you know, and just keeping that high level of sharpness even after a lot of use. But anyways, yeah, awesome knife. Love that one. Next is actually 2 knives, because we have the premium and the budget version, and they are basically the same knife in most regards as far as shape and style. The budget one even still uses the same titanium mill pocket clip, which is a phenomenal clip. It goes in and out of the pocket really nice and smooth, has plenty of room underneath, and it sits really nice in the pocket. So in the premium version, we have a fat carbon, at least on this model. There's a bunch of different flavors or different options, you know, just depending on the colors and the steel you want. But this one has the fat carbon fiber, titanium frame lock with the 10CR Damascus that Kansept does such a good job with. And this is a gorgeous looking knife. This is the Prometheus, but this one's by Tenable, which Tenable is the budget line of Kansept. So you have Kansept, which would be their more premium versions, and then Tenable, which is now a new company that they created in order to do budget versions of designs that are popular. And the Prometheus design is a really cool design, very ergonomic handle, great choke up spot. This one is a frame lock. Technically, this one has even smoother action. Look at that. This one's like fall shut. Great budget knife though. Like I said, it's just like this one, same exact ergonomics. They feel very similar in the hand. This blade shape is a great blade shape for just daily use. Good access to the lock bar. The weight on it is very light, even on the premium one, because they milled out pockets through the entire knife. So I would say actually this one's even lighter than the budget version. But yeah, the Prometheus by Kansept and Tenable's great budget knife or a premium knife, whichever way you're trying to you know, spend your money, if this is a design that appeals to you. Let's get to the next one. Now, the next one is the SenCut Crowley. This to me is a great example of a modern knife that holds traditional values, in the sense that it's a very simple design. It reminds you of something like a buck or you know, something you'd find from Schrade from a long time ago. Not saying just like, but you know, it kind of holds some of those aspects with a proper drop point, really good geometry. And that's one thing that some of those other designs did not knock out of the park, was the geometry. This is made for cutting. It is a slicer. And in this case, we have the wood handles. Obviously comes in many other options if you don't like the wood. D2 steel, very you know, affordable steel. That's why this is, you know, a budget knife, but D2 is a phenomenal steel for budget knives, as long as you're not spending too much money. They actually can hold a really good edge, and in many cases even more than 154 cm. However, you know, that's when it's properly heat treated. And, you know, typically for mass-produced D2, we see it running more around the 10 CR range in edge retention. Not always, though. I've got a lot of D2 that well outperforms Any 154 CM I have, it just depends. And SenCut is a company that does a good job with it. Civivi and SenCut, they do a phenomenal job with their D2. Button lock action, and again, these guys are killing it with the button locks. This is a standard conventional button lock, just a plunge lock, but these guys are doing it the best. There's no company that's doing it better than SenCut, Civivi, or We Knife Co. You see we have a deep carry clip that is reversible, TA hardware all the way around. Love to see that. Complete guillotine action with the button lock. It is riding on ceramic caged bearings, and it's slim, yet it's a full-size knife. 100% full-size knife, but it is slim in the hand, and it makes it to where you can have a full-size knife that's relatively compact and a great useful design. This is something that most people are just going to find to be a very natural user. Let's get to the next one. Now, the next one actually is from Civivi. It's sister company, right? This one I've been carrying the hell out of. I've already sharpened it up. Look at it, man. Look at that edge. Woo! That thing took a nasty sharp edge. Like we were talking about earlier, 14C28N is a steel that just takes a ridiculously sharp edge. And it was designed for that, purpose. It's a very, very tough steel that was made for super thin, slicey geometry. So personally, for me, I think that it's one of the best steels for, like say an affordable knife that has really thin geometry, because it was made for that. And then, being able to easily sharpen, like anybody, well, maybe not anybody, but with very little effort, you can sharpen up 14C28N to a high performance, high level of sharpness edge. It takes a ridiculously sharp edge. It holds it really well, and you can easily maintain and keep it going. This has a hollow ground spear point bayonet style blade shaped G10 handle, reversible deep carry clip that's inset with flat screws, button lock action once again. And again, they do a phenomenal job with their button locks. The best. I would say that they actually make most other button lock companies look bad because of how good they do their button locks, while other companies are still struggling. Very ergonomic, nice and lightweight, straightforward knife, and I personally think this blade shape is one of the best blade shapes you can get for general use, because one, you can easily use it for utility cutting. It's going to be a great slicer. You can turn around and cut straps. It's just the tip is made for puncturing. It's the perfect shape for most things you're going to use a knife for. Now, being a spear point, it doesn't have a lot of belly, but you can absolutely use the belly. So for anything you're going to be using a belly for. Now, the sharp and plunge grind is pretty decent on this. I did hit that area right there with my stone. That was more my fault than the knife's fault, but this is a user. This is something that I'm going to beat on, and I'm going to, test over a long period of time and see how well it holds up. And so far, most of, if not all, my SenCuts and Civivi knives that have button locks, they're still doing very well, even after I've beat the hell out of them and put them through a lot of use. And I think with any great budget knife, it should be a great user. It should be something that you can easily sharpen up, maintain, and keep going, and have the shape that just works. I think that that's vital to carrying, or to anybody's knife collection. You should have some great users, the knives that literally you have no problem with just grabbing and beating the hell out of. I think that's vital in any knife collection. Another vital part of your EDC is the wallet you carry. And we're gonna check a couple Ekster wallets out. These have a solid aluminum body. I actually kind of like the setup and the construction here, because you have this button right here that makes it to where all your cards come out in order. So you don't have to fumble around for what card you're gonna pick. You can get to any one of them very fast. And the button has almost like a luxurious feel to it. You can rapidly pop them out, obviously, or slowly get them out.
Fully auto?
It's fully auto. This one, I really like the color of it because of this deep satin maroon finish. I think it pops. It looks really good. This little back plate you can take off with the rubber, but basically this rubber band is for you to wedge money underneath, or maybe an extra little card or something you might want to carry. They do have a tracking card that you can put under there too to track your wallet, so that's another thing you can do. This one's an all white construction, same exact setup here. Now, if you have multiple multiple different ones like I do, you can always switch and swap. Like I can put the black band with the white one. I can take the red card and put it with the white one, or with the black. Like you can basically swap parts a little bit. And it makes it to where you can, you know, match your outfit or match, you know, whatever you're doing for that day, your vibe, whatever you want to call it, or just get one and have it be your go-to, you know, wallet, because you can also take this whole thing off and make this like mega slim. Look at that. Like just that right there. That's like hardly nothing in your pocket, you know, and since it's aluminum, you're not going to crush your cards. And me personally, with leather wallets, I do that. I'm constantly cracking cards and messing up cards. I love leather wallets, but I do got to say that is one problem, is your cards bend, things get messed up. Inside something like this, you never have to worry about that. This little metal card, it's literally just that. Like I said, you can just take it off or remove it. I think it does look good though. It kind of adds a little pop to the wallets. Now Ekster has a bunch of other stuff. They got bags, they got, like I said, tracking devices that you can put on or with, you know, whatever you want to track, you know, whether it's your wallet, you know, maybe your wife's purse, or you know, maybe your wife. No, I'm just joking. But anyways, yeah, you can use obviously the little trackers for just about anything. Your dog, there you go, your dog. But yeah, really cool items. I will put a link down in the description for you guys if you guys want to check out some Ekster stuff. They are very good quality. I'll give it that. They're high quality. I've been using them, carrying them for a while now. I do tend to switch and swap wallets out all the time, just depending on, you know, what I'm doing or you know, the color theme I'm going for. But anyways, yeah, there you guys go. Ekster wallets, definitely check them out. Next is Off Grid. And, you know, speaking about the Civivi we were checking out before with the bayonet, we have another somewhat of a bayonet style blade shape. This thing is a hoss though. This thing is very large. It is a large knife, spear point blade. So it's going to be great for puncturing. 154 cm blade steel, phenomenal steel for EDC. This is a steel that takes and holds a great toothy edge. It loves a toothy edge. So I think between 600 and 1200 grit edge is where you want to sit with 154 cm. And some of mine, I do at 400 grit. It really holds a toothy edge very well. And it is one of the, if not the longest edge holding mid-grade steel or budget steel we have. Deep carry clip that's inset with flat screws. And it's got a plate so you can reverse it. Good access to the liner. Very smooth on the drop. Great snappy deployment with the flipper tab, G10 scales, great cutting geometry considering the size and everything. You know, when you typically with big knives like this, a lot of companies go a little too thick on the grind. However, they have a compact version that's a basic drop point blade or spear point. I mean, it's damn near a spear point, not quite as spear pointish as this, more of a drop point, but either way, it's going to work extremely similar, just in a more compact fashion. It is a 4-finger grip, but it's tight. But that's actually probably a benefit to most people, because a lot of people don't want to carry a big knife like this, a 9-inch knife. This is a little bit more typical for the daily user and carrier. We have, again, 154 cm blade steel. Nice jibbing on the spine that actually is functional without being too sharp. Like I said before, blade shape is going to be phenomenal for EDC. Good access to the lock bar. Super snappy detent. It's riding on ceramic caged bearings. This is definitely one you can easily flip out. Just breaking the detent. Nice detent. Look at this. I'm going to try to fail it. Yeah, this is a good one. Great detent on this. TA hardware all the way around except for the clip screws. And yeah, like I said, just a large and a small version of the Stinger. So this is the Stinger EDC and this is the Stinger XL. And they are both great, affordable knives. This one's a little bit more expensive, you know, being bigger, you know, and a lot more materials and everything. This one's a little bit more affordable for you and, you know, obviously a lot more compact in size. And last, we have another monster knife. And just to show you how monster it is, this is the Stinger XL we were just looking at. Look at the size difference. This thing is over a foot long. However, it is using a very strong locking system for a very slicey blade. Look at how thin this blade is. I mean, just look at the stock thickness difference. This is so thin and so slicey. It gets down very thin. This blade shape is phenomenal for just about everything. This is considered a folding, like, chef knife. So obviously you can use it for whatever you want, because you could even use it as like a light duty machete, but it's using a button compression lock. So compression locks are nice, strong locking systems. And in this case, it just has a button attached to it. So you can operate it just like a button lock without, having to just squeeze, the lock bar like on a Spyderco. Instead, they attached a button to it, which a lot of companies are doing right now, which I personally think is awesome. But the size of this thing, like, look at this, that's a full grip for me back here. You can get so much distance, but because of the way it's shaped, it's made so that your fingers can be under the knife and you're not going to get in, it's not going to get in the way, because the edge is so much lower than the handle, so you're not going to hit your knuckles trying to cut with it. So with this thing being as slicey as it is, you can cut fruit, vegetables, meat, whatever, very easily. VG10 steel, which is known to be a great chef knife steel. So this is a great example, I think. I think this is probably the best folding chef knife that it seriously takes chef, that takes chefs seriously, because there's a lot of great folding knives that are like EDC knives, which obviously you can EDC this even though it's so damn big. But my point is not a lot of them are going to perform extremely well in the kitchen. Maybe, when you're out and about, they might, but this is actually something you can put in your kitchen drawer. You can just leave on your counter, or, just bust out at the barbecue. It's done very well. Like I said, man, that lockup is nice and solid. The action is good. It's large, so you definitely got to get used to the size. But my goodness, it's like a folding machete. But it's done well because it has good steel, good geometry. The ergonomics are really good. We have Contour G10 that's nice and grippy, by the way. And this spot right here really locks you in with your thumb. So this is also, I gotta say, if I was going to be in a cardboard slicing competition or something, I think I would bring this if edge retention wasn't the highest factor. If cutting performance was, because this thing, because of the ergos and because of all the leverage, you can slice so fast through cardboard. I mean, this thing just goes through it like it's going through air because it's so thin. Not only that, but you have so much distance, so you can get long cuts with this thing. So, hey, if you have a lot of cardboard to break down or whatever, which I do all the time, like I'm always filling up the recycling bin full of cardboard, and this is a great user for that. Anyways, there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.